what's up everybody? So this is the first update of Season 4 of the Star City Blood Bowl League. We had just about to complete Week 3. I'm going to do the last concession here of the week where there was a couple teams that weren't able to get their game in time. And so let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll start looking at the stats, see where everybody stands, and look at what's coming up into Week 4. And some predictions moving up through there. So I guess first things first, we will complete this week 3 game, which was the Broad Street Ghoulies, which was Travis John Pierce's team against Jack's Southwest Backstabbers. So this was just a concession game where the Ghoulies are going to get the win. In this case, they'll get double treasury, so they'll get 2d6 worth of winnings. So the first one is a 6 and the second one is a 4. So they will get 100K. They'll get a fan factor. The Backstabbers won't lose any because I don't think they have any yet. And then we will need to do 2, what do you call it, MVPs for the Ghoulies. So looks like there's one guy's missing next game, so it's going to be numbers 2 through 12. So we'll just do a D12, and well, if it's number 1, we'll just roll again. So let's see. So the first one is 11, and the second one is 3. So number 3 is Dan Scarino. He's going to get the MVP, and number 11 is Ray El Diablo. So he is going to get the numbers there. So that's going to finish that game right there.
Looks like that dwarf is stuck in the middle of the greenskins.
His teammates are either unconscious or most likely dead. What he needs, Bob, is a miracle.
Wait, you hear that? That's the sound of Bugman XXXXXX. Probably the best beer in the old world.
Ha! Come and get it, lad!
Look at those little legs go. Never seen a dwarf run that fast.
Bugman's beer of the Mountain King.
So now that we've done that, I'll move over here for a second. We can start to look at the standings as they stand so far. So right now, with that game complete, we've all finished up 3 games apiece between the, what do we got, 10 of us in the league here. The Tlax Wraith Serpents are currently on top with 6 points. They're the only team that has 3 wins, no losses, no draws. They've scored 6 touchdowns and only been scored against 1 time. The Night Terrors follow behind by 1 point. They've had 2 wins and a draw, and they have a +2 net touchdown. The Stormcloaks are right behind with 1 win and 2 draws, and they have a +2 net. And the Cave Spring Spartans are just behind as well, and so are the Birchwood Barons, and they're tied with 4 points as well, with 2 wins and 1 loss apiece. The Spartans still have a +2 net, and the Barons have a +1. So kind of looking at, let's look at some of the statistics so far. And I'll put this on this season. I think I'll move back over here. It's probably easier. Okay, so looking at team value right now, the Birchwood Barons have the highest team value in the league at 1,300. The lowest team value currently is the Southwest Backstabbers at 1,050. And then the Hazmat Hulks are at 1130. So most everybody's somewhere. Oh, there's a 1060 actually for the Eshin Assassins. So most everybody is somewhere around the 1100 to 1250 range right now. There's not a huge discrepancy, but I think people are going to start to see more inducements coming in. Either it's wizards or extra apothecaries, rerolls, babes. Those will start coming into play more now that we've moved a little further. like I said, that the Wraith Servants are the only team with 100% win percentage. 83% for the Night Terrors, and the Stormcloak, Spartans, and Barons all have a 2/3 win percentage right now. Um, as far as casualties caused versus casualties against, so total net differential, we can sort through that. So right now, the Wraith Serpents and the Hazmat Hulks each have a +7 net casualty. With the looks like the Night Terrors have a +6. The Clover Clobbers have a +4. And then if we look at some of the ELO rankings, and the ELO rankings will show kind of how the kind of like power rankings more or less. So the Wraith Servants have a 239. Not far behind is the Night Terrors at 228. The Birchwood Barons have a 219 power ranking, with the Stormcloaks and the Eshin Assassins coming in around 209 and 200 for the Eshin Assassins and the Cave Spring Spartans. And that's kind of how those power rankings work out there. We'll look at some player standings now as we've moved through this. So, kind of going from team value, the most expensive player in the league right now, a lot of you have heard of, is the War Dancer for the Birchwood Barons that has plus strength and plus agility. So he's agility 5 and he's strength 4 War Dancer. He's valued at 210,000. Right behind him is Codlac Whitemane, which is the Skyrim Stormcloak's Yeti. He's worth 190k, and then there's a number of players, 2 for the Spartans, 1 for the Serpents, which is their Croxagor Elbone Hedo, is sitting around 160k, and it looks like, who is this? Haggar Applevale, also with the Birchwood Barons, is also 160k. So looking at some of the other stats that are going on, most touchdowns scored right now is actually Snip's Silent Paw. He is for the Eshin Assassins. I believe he is a gutter runner. He's a gutter runner right now who has, he's got sprint and 2 heads, so he's pretty good at dodging. He's pretty good at making it down the field. Then behind that, we have Gruul with the Night Terrors, has 4 touchdowns scored so far this year. Florian Bladesinger has 3, Vilkas has 3, Norin has 3, and Zltaxluth something, he's also got 3, which I think that is that the sidestep skink? That is the sidestep skink for the Serpents. So that's where we're looking at there. Completions, not even really a close race right now. Talia Brightly for the Birchwood Barons have 8. The next person is Goat with the Ghoulies. He's got 3 completions. And then there is about 3 more completions, 2 with the Eshin Assassins, 1 other with the Birchwood Barons. And so there's only been 14 passes so far this year. None of those 14 passes have resulted in an interception so far. So that's not a problem. Looking at casualties, right now, Bubba Hotep, Kyle with the Hazmat Hulks, and James with the Hazmat Hulks all have 3 casualties caused apiece. There's a whole handful of people that have caused 2 casualties. Most badly hurts, Codlac Whitemane, Kyle, and James each have caused 2 badly hurts apiece. Significant injuries. We got 4 players that have caused 2 significant injuries each. That's Bubba Hotep with the Night Terrors, Old Blackthorn with the Birchwood Barons, which is a treeman, I'm going to guess. Mad Hack Clover Clobbers, Jake the Jabberwockies also caused 2, and Nidhogg with the Wraith Serpents caused 2 at his last game. Kills, we've had a total of 4 players killed this season. 2 of them were killed by players of the Night Terrors, which was Gruul and Bubba Hotep. Turf Toe caused a kill, and Snicker also caused a kill. As far as MVPs, we've had a number of players also die from self-inflicted wounds, falling on the goal lines, tripping, running out of different tackle zones. So that's there. MVPs, we've had one player, which is Snip Silent Paul. He has gotten 3 MVPs in 3 games, so he's been an MVP in every game so far. He's got, and then we can look at the star player points right now. Um, so star player points so far, it's actually starting to kind of run away with Snip Silent Paul having 30 star player points so far this year. The next people behind him is Kyle with the Hazmat Hulks, has had 19. Who is Kyle? Kyle is a blitzer for the Hazmat Hulks. He's got block, mighty blow, and dodge um, on him right now. He's got a total of 19 star player points. And then we're looking. It looks like Florian Bladesinger, El Bonhedo, uh, Norin, Gruel are all in that 14 to 16 range for star player points. So that's kind of what we're looking at so far with um, the teams this early in the league. I don't think there's really a clear leader yet, but it definitely looks like the Serpents are going to be tough to beat. The Night Terrors are going to be tough to beat. The Stormcloaks and the Spartans, I mean, they've got some powerhouse players, but they're very injury prone. Same with the Barons. If you get ahead on them in injuries, then they're easy to beat. The Eshin Assassins, I actually expect to see them rise up through the rankings as the season gets longer and some of their players get a little more survivability skills in place, especially as they get two heads, block dodge, various different things to keep the gutter runners alive and in the game. Um, and then I also expect to see a good match between the Hazmat Hulks and the Southwest Backstabbers one day when they play to see who's going to kind of take on that kind of last place role in the league here. So you can kind of see where everybody ranks up right now in the list. And we'll look at the upcoming matches for week 4. So week 4, we got 5 games coming up. The Eshin Assassins against the Southwest Backstabbers. So that's going to be a rat on rat game there. I'm going to expect probably just because of Roland's abilities in kind of playing rats and being that kind of you play the same race quite a bit and you do learn how to play them very well. I assume, and because Jack being such a new player, that Roland will take that game probably 3-0. Um, but hopefully maybe Jack can get in a score. Maybe it's 3-1. But I'm going to guess it's probably going to be a shutout. Probably Roland's going to take that one 3-0. Next, we have the Night Terrors against the Broad Street Ghoulies, which is going to be kind of an undead necro matchup of the week, kind of who's the deadest of them all. And so I'm going to say probably that Goat's going to give a lot of trouble for the Night Terrors, but I'm going to say the Night Terrors are probably going to pull that one out 2-1. Um, it looks like El Diablo's got block as a um, necro werewolf that's skilled up. There's not a lot of other skills running around aside from the ones that are on Goat. So the Broad Street Ghoulies, I guess they're kind of relying on 2 players to kind of carry their team. Let's see what the Night Terrors. The Night Terrors have some guard mummies, so they're going to be outstrengthing the Ghoulies quite a bit, even with those flesh golems out front. They have their own strength 4 ghoul with sure hands, which is Gruel. That's also going to kind of man the ball for them, I'm sure. And a number of different zombies in place, including one that has Dirty Player, which I'm sure is just a foul fodder kind of character that's going to be trying to take those werewolves and ghouls off the field for the ghoulies. So there's that there. So I'm going to say that probably that's going to be 2-1 with the Night Terrors taking that one on. Next is going to be the Cave Spring Spartans against the Mad Hack Clover Clobbers. So the Spartans got real beat up in their last game. They're going to be coming in with 3 journeymen, and they're going to be down an Ulfwerner. But they did pick up a Yeti who's got Claw, who's going to be trying to get through that dwarf armor as much as possible to try and remove them off the field so that they can't cover quite as much ground. They still have Skajor, which is their Mighty Blow piling on fan favorite of the league blitzer, and then they also have Vilcus, which is the runner, who's the strength 4 runner, and he's got dodge as well. So those players are still going to be in. Recently, the Spartans had a lineman roll doubles, and he was able to pick up guard. So that's going to help kind of even out the strength between the dwarves and now the downside is obviously the Norse are very under armored, and they all have block just like a lot of the dwarves do. So um, there's not much of an advantage happening there, except the Clover Clobbers won't be able to use quite as many of their blocks both downs to result in injured opponents. Um, the one thing that I guess the Spartans are going to have to look out for is Snicker, which is a troll slayer who's got mighty blow. Um, Sir White McRabbit is going to have block. There's at least two guarders on the team. Not a lot of strength increases or characteristic increases, but you get enough guard and things on dwarves, and you'll do just fine. There's also 12 dwarves on the lineup, as opposed to just the 11 that the Spartans will be bringing to the table. This one I'm going to assume is going to be pretty close. I'm going to go with 1-1 is going to be the draw here. Um, I think it's just going to be, the Spartans may be able to get out and get a score in, but then they're going to run out of players real quick. But dwarves being dwarves, it's just going to be tough for them to score multiple times, I think, especially against that Spartan defense, which is proven itself to not give up too many touchdowns. I think aside from last game, they had only given up, I think, three or one at that point. So they've given up two now. The next game is going to be the Stormcloaks against the Barons. And so this is going to be agility versus kind of strength in this game here. There is a lineman for the Stormcloaks that needs to be either hired or fired. But he looks like he's going to be playing with 11 players against the, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 players. So it's going to be 11 on 11. This is really going to come down to if Florian and Hagkar can keep the ball out of the hands of the Norse and allow them to kind of get out ahead and try and figure out if they can just outscore the Norse before they run out of players. This one here, I'm going to say that the Barons are actually going to take this one. I'm going to say this one's going to be 3-1. It's going to be a pretty high scoring game, I guess. And it's just because it's so easy for um, those elves to get into the end zone. And like I said, the last game here upcoming was that, where is it here? It is the Wraith Servants against the Hulks. The Wraith Servants are really coming out. They're starting to get skills. I think the Saurus here got break tackle. I'm not sure. But they're starting to become more mobile. They're definitely outstrengthening a lot of people they're running into. I'd be interested to see if they can hold on against these orcs in this upcoming game. And so we'll see how they hold up. If the Hulks can get out there, get onto those skinks, get around and start fouling those skinks out, then the Wraith Servants will lose all their ability to move the ball. And at which case, then they're just sitting ducks, and they'll be ready for the Hulks to kind of take advantage there. I'm going to guess with this one, I think it's actually going to be a draw. I think the Serpents are probably going to lose um, their undefeated streak here, and I think it's just going to be 1-1. I think the Hulks are going to be able to get in there, and that's because they're going to be able to hurt some skinks in the process. So that's kind of where we are after week 3. I'll do another update in maybe a week or two here to see how things are developing and how different players are moving up through the league. But I hope you guys have a good week 4 matchup. You guys have the next 2 weeks starting from today. So between now and roughly the 29th of March, you should be able to get your week 4 match in, and then we'll keep moving through there. So we're about a third of the way through the season now. And so it's been a good one so far, and hopefully that continues for everybody. Have a good rest of the night. We'll talk to you guys soon.